So we use a CRM called Drip Jobs. It has a AI agent built into it, and also a deal analyzer, which is really awesome. So when you take and have a lead come in, it syncs with our phone too, so they see all communications that we have with the client. After the proposal's sent, I can go and press analyze deal, and it'll tell me how many times they viewed the proposal, the
That's
intent
awesome.
of that they have, how long they've sat on it, how their communication's been, and it gives me a score. We also have been using Manus to help
Okay.
build
Heard of
different
that, yeah.
backlinks.
What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Builders Bible Podcast. I'm here with Brandon Miller. Brandon is from Michigan area. You can see the Detroit Tigers hat. And Brandon is the owner of Inspired by Design Painting. So we're going to hear all about the painting world today. So Brandon, thanks so much for joining the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, Chase. Really means a lot.
Absolutely. Well, Brandon, maybe give our audience just a little bit of your background. So what is the story of Inspired by Design Painting? Did you start the company? Did you work there and eventually work your way up? What's kind of the story like?
Yeah, to date back when I was 9, my best friend's dad owned a painting company across the street from me. So, free child labor, clean out brushes in the afternoon after school, all that kind of fun stuff. Then I moved up to Michigan to be with my dad. I was actually in a bricklayers union and
Cool.
was doing a lot of this on the side. My brother also had started Inspired by Designs painting and renovation, and he had passed away in 2017. So in 2020, when the world shut down, I was doing so much on the side that I decided to just leap, and I picked up the torch of Inspired by Design, started up an actual company with, LLC, all that jazz, not just,
Let's go.
my brother Jerry in a truck. It's evolved a long way. So started really actually business wise in 2020, was mainly doing Dax power washing, smaller jobs because it was just me, my '08
Yep.
Malibu. I had to lean the seat all the way forward, put the power washer on the back, and then had the little giant barely fitting in there. I'm surprised anybody hired me at first, but thank goodness for all of them believing in me, because now we've built something truly remarkable in my opinion.
Talk to us about, what did the process of growth look like? I imagine you started, it sounds like maybe your brother helped you out. You guys had a truck or two. Where have y'all kind of grown? I don't know, from a revenue standpoint or just a size of company standpoint from the time you started up until today?
When I first started, there was no help. My brother didn't really have anything set up. It was just me with my '08 Malibu. I really just owned a job. Eventually, I brought on some couple laborers to help out with painting. It took about 2-3 years to actually realize I owned a job and not a business. And at that point, so about 2023 is when the ball started rolling for me. I started paying for some business coaching, and I actually went to an event that Nick Slavic was speaking at and
Cool,
realized
yeah.
how much of it was Latin to me and it was foreign. I
Yeah,
didn't understand gross profit, nothing like that. I was just a painter.
yeah.
I didn't know anything about business. I knew about marketing. I've always known I'm a great brander in my opinion. I know how to get attention. So I was able to get leads. However, I didn't fully understand the business till about 2023. We were doing, like 100K, 150K a year when I first started. Really nothing to gloat about. But 2023 is when finally actually hired some real painters, had multiple jobs running. We were doing about 400K 2023. 2024, we were able to add more to the crew, and we did right around 600. Then 2025, we did right at nine, no, like 970, something to that nature. And then this year, we're looking to do about 1.3. Granted, there's a lot of learning curves, especially with
Yeah.
growth.
Huh.
We have a lot to learn every step. Every time that I think I've got it figured out, I realize there's still more to figure out. So a lot to figure out, but really proud of where we brought it. Got a lot of great guys on the crews, and we're a hybrid model, so we do a little bit of subbing and
Yeah.
then do like the fine finish stuff in house.
Dude, that's so cool. You know, it's been so encouraging for me the last few years doing this because it feels like any sort of blue collar work right now, if you're a young man, like go into blue collar work because I'm talking to so many guys like yourself who have done plumbing or done painting or any sort of a trade and they end up starting their own company and killing it. And man, I think there's just so much opportunity right now for blue collar guys. So that's so cool to hear.
This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team.
Maybe talk to me, Brandon, about currently what are a couple challenges or some things that y'all are trying to work through just at this state in your business.
Well, for example, this year I've had a lot of health issues, so I've been out a good amount.
Okay.
And with that being said, we started realizing how much general management I was doing, which
Mm.
is still my role. So we're trying to take and off some of that off the general management plate, put it onto the project managers, and then building up a better, more efficient sales team. That's been a challenge of mine because I don't want to let it go. So it's a lot of stuff for me. I thoroughly enjoy sales. It's one of my favorite parts of the whole business.
Yep.
And that's been a hard thing for me to let go. So I'm still learning a lot about that.
Hmm.
And that's really the biggest hurdles for us, and finding more reliable subs all the time and
Totally.
reliable guys. But there's always a lot of great people out there. It's just getting better to get them to know about you and want to be on your team.
Totally. Yeah. So what I'm always curious about that as well. So as the owner, what is sort of your day to day look like? I mean, I imagine it's a mix of just managing the team, probably a lot of admin work, sales calls. Is that a pretty average day, or what does that sort of look like for an owner?
For me right now, it's a lot more networking. We're diving deep into grassroots and online networking groups in the area, chamber events, really just growing the face of everything, putting ourselves out there to find more sub crews. That's really a lot of my day to day. Right at the beginning of the day, I hop in a morning huddle with the guys. They don't really use me too much. I'm more of just, hey, this is the direction we need to go.
Yep.
Sales, I just hopped back into sales because we lost one of our salespeople, because we're still creating a better structure for our sales team.
Sure.
So it makes sense that we've lost some salespeople throughout the time, but each one we've learned from. So that right now I've added a couple estimates to the plate per week, but average day is get the kids to school, do the huddle, go to some networking events. I also operate a marketing company for painters, so then I do discovery calls for that. I do sales for that
Cool.
company, and
What does that look like? So these
then pick it.
are you doing like coaching calls with painters or?
No, so we do all online marketing as far from website design, development, SEO work, Google
Okay.
Ads, Meta Ads, that kind of thing.
Got it.
I've been
Okay.
asked to do the coaching, however, I haven't found a way that I can make it beneficial for the people. I don't want to draw a line and not make it to that line. I want to make sure
Yeah,
that I can actually give them what they deserve. So eventually
totally.
that might be in the cards. However, I still believe I've got a decent way to go before coaching a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny too, Brandon, because Andrew and I, through just interviewing all these business owners, we sort of found that around that like 1 million-ish dollar mark is when a lot of like scaling starts to happen, where founders and owners realize like I've got to get people in the right spots, I've got to make sure my role is refined, I've got to have a vision for the future. So it's awesome success to get there, but I feel like when someone does, they're like, oh shoot, like this is real now, I've got to sustain this thing. um so that makes a lot of sense. What
Yeah, payroll is a little bit heavier.
Yeah, yeah, payroll's heavier. The admin work, the clients you're trying to keep happy, the reviews, I mean, all of this starts to add up. Um, how have y'all been utilizing AI? I'm curious with blue collar guys, is there any tools that y'all have found that have been helpful, or is it more so just general chat GPT and things like that?
So we use a CRM called Drip Jobs. It has a AI agent built into it, and also a deal analyzer, which is really awesome. So when you take and have a lead come in, it syncs with our phone too, so they see all communications that we have with the client. After the proposal's sent, I can go and press analyze deal, and it'll tell me how many times they viewed the proposal, the
That's
intent
awesome.
of that they have, how long they've sat on it, how their communication's been, and it gives me a score. We also have been using Manus to help
Okay,
build
heard of
different
that, yeah.
backlinks. Yep, so that helps out a lot. And yeah, we still use like Chat GBT, even on estimates. We'll take and you got to sell the dream. So we'll take and use chat because it's one of the faster and it
Yeah,
doesn't use credits. So you could just have it say, hey, put this wallpaper on this wall for me. Utilize that for our sales, utilize it for our meeting structure. That helps a lot. Like, hey, review this because we use Slack for our meetings. So we say, hey, review these notes. How can we make this more efficient? That's the biggest ways that we've been using AI.
yeah. Dude, that's cool. I'll tell you offline when we're done here, but I've got a couple thoughts on that too, because there's some tools out there that I think could really help y'all. Yeah, it's interesting because it seems like, and it makes sense, but it seems like a lot of blue collar guys are naturally behind the tech curve a little bit. And so I'm really curious to see kind of once tech starts to make its way into the blue collar world more, how that kind of changes things. Um,
I think it
but
just
yeah.
raises the bar.
Hmm.
Honestly, I truly believe it raises the bar. Now the Chuck in a truck still is gonna have a full schedule because it's just him, and he might not see the value in it.
Hmm.
However, the people that are trying to scale and have more time on their hands, that's where the AI integration is gonna help a lot.
This episode is brought to you by 10x Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10x Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker: they only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com.
Talk to us about an average client for y'all. Does that look like just a residential homeowner that's, wanting to do a project? Is it commercial? Maybe give us an idea kind of what an average client looks like.
Yeah, so we haven't done a ton of commercial. A lot of our stuff is residential homes. We do small businesses. Haven't done a ton of huge commercial, but a lot of these networking groups that I go to, we get in with business owners and we're painting, like State Farm agent places, which leads to a lot more. Our niche is definitely residential. We love doing any sort of cabinet coatings. Man,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's a
Okay.
incredible feeling when you finish up a nice cabinet set and the
Uh,
homeowners are just jizzing all over the place. It's a great feeling for the guys. I love seeing the messages and in
yeah.
our meetings of them saying, "Yeah, Susan was just so thrilled with this," especially when they're harder clients. Man, it's really fulfilling for me and all the guys when we still get to the finish line and those hard clients became, raving fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's good. And y'all, so I know you've been doing some stuff online, but it sounds like primarily most of your business is just referrals based.
So we're about 50% referrals and then about 30%, or actually here, I'll pull up the number real fast. So we're at 20% organic content, which is, Facebook groups, etc. And then the rest is paid ads.
Okay. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. And then the referrals are always nice too, because I think those probably have a way higher chance of actually closing, would be my guess.
Yeah, our close rate is about 40 across the board. They do close more on the referrals for sure. However, our amount of leads are significantly higher from paid ads. The
Okay.
set rate's lower. I think the set rate's the number one thing that changes. The referrals probably 90 to 100% set rate. with with Meta ads or Google ads, we're at about 70% set rate. So there's some slippage there,
Sure.
and we're always trying to fine tune that. We just started up a mailer campaign 2 months ago. We're starting to get some
Oh,
leads
cool.
from that. We get a
Are
good
y'all
amount of leads from
sending
our website too.
physical mail to homeowners?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we use this thing called Best Postcards. They're pretty awesome. They they provide everything. They even do the proof, create the flyer, and then send it out to. And it's literally cheaper than if you did it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a buddy in Memphis who does real estate, a lot of like wholesale and flips and stuff. And he does the same thing with mailers. He's found a lot of success. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you send, several thousand pieces of mail, you're likely to get a few people to respond.
Yeah, and it's in the exact areas you want. That's the thing I like. So we send it out around the job sites. We make a heat map around the job sites we're working at, so they see our logo over and over again. And I believe once they see it a couple times, the thing I'm starting to think about with it is, you can't track as much of the data. Like, all right, did they see it? How long did they sit looking at the flyer? That's what I like about online advertising. You can literally see just about all the details
yeah,
within it.
it's
With
so
the
helpful.
flyers, it's like, okay, we got to give it some time to breathe because it might take Susan the third month of getting and seeing it, or it might be sitting on her fridge when we go do the estimate. We truly don't know until they call.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brandon, this has been fun. Maybe one of the last things I usually like to ask each guest is, what would be advice you would give a younger guy who's maybe thinking about starting his own company? Maybe he works currently in painting, but wants to kind of do his own thing. What would be maybe a few pieces of wisdom or advice that you would tell a young guy like that?
Be willing to endure some of the hard times to be able to get to the good ones, and celebrate the good ones too because they don't last forever. I've had crazy ups and downs from this, and I actually heard something on a podcast I was listening to today. It's you don't want to pick something that is worth suffering for because suffering actually is like sounds insane. However, you want to pick something that's worth growing for because this will make you grow. It will force you to grow. It'll force you to have to get better at things that you would never imagine. I would never have thought of having to run through P&Ls or anything to that nature. I thought it was just going to be painting the entire time and that money would just flood. It takes a lot of hard work and just be intentional with what you're doing. There's a million different things you could do, all the things that I just said right off the bat when you begin. However, if you just picked one and locked in, any of these channels will bring in leads. just focus on bringing as much value as you can to your clients, to the people that are on your team, and to any interaction you have, really. And that's what will set you apart from everyone else. Don't just be chasing the money, be chasing the impact that you can have with what you're doing.
I love that, man. That's so good. Brandon, where can our audience find y'all if they're in the Michigan area? I mean, obviously inspired by designpainting.com. Do y'all have Instagram or social media?
But yeah, we're huge on there. It's, I believe, inspired by design painting underscore between the design and painting for like Facebook and Meta. Also can reach out to me. I absolutely love helping people. Just like I said, I want to make an impact. So even if it's paint questions, whether it's marketing questions, whether it's, life questions, I'm here. Would love to chat with as many people as possible, which is why I wanted to hop on this podcast when I was asked. It's all about making an impact and maybe inspiring someone to do something that they've been thinking about doing for a long time.
Love it, man. Well, dude, thank you for joining the show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Later. Thanks for having me.